All right, I wanted to go over the latest rendition of the advanced screener here. A lot of people are loving this for momentum trades. I added a lot of new features here, a lot of new filters, different ways to sort. I have 1 minute change, 2 minute change, 5 minute change, and 50-minute change. For those of you who've been using it for a while, you'll notice there's a lot more data coming through. I updated some of the filters so that before I was filtering out some that didn't have enough dollar volume. So now I actually show the dollar volume over the last 2 minutes through the system. And just a little asterisk to that is that this is NASDAQ last volume, which is it's about 10% or yeah, 10% to 30% of the full volume of the exchanges, but it gives you a relative term to just look at and watch for what's moving right now and what has enough dollar volume to actually have some momentum behind it. So given that I got the momentum tab highlighted here, this is the one that I personally use, and you'll see there's actually some additional things I use to test out auto trading or just some paper trading type of things here. These don't appear on the public version of it, so just ignore this buy column over here. So you look and see that the most important areas that I believe are the ticks here, seeing a lot of greens, and what this means is that there's every single 10 seconds that the system is looking for a new quote update, that the last, looks like about 6 in a row here have been going up. So this shows that this stock in particular has had some, as you can see here in the chart, has been trending up, up, up. It looks like it might work to make a new high of the day here and push towards $3, which whole numbers usually tend to give resistance. Yeah, and that one looks to be good. So this is a great example here, right as I'm doing this recording, is that this is 0% away from its high. So in other words, it's about to make a new high of the day. Has a very low float, and it's already gone. But they had a low float, and it was pushing really hard in the last minute. Last 2 minutes, it was still green. And here's another one. It's kind of looking similar. You know, it's up pretty strong for the day, and you kind of, the rule of thumb that I use is that I want a lot of green across these first few columns here, where it's, you know, it has a good strong move for the day. It's near its high, has a low float, has a lot of dollar volume going on, and its 1 minute and 2 minute change are really pushing the limits, and it's relatively green over the next 5 to 15 minutes. The other columns over here to the right are starting to be a little less important. One thing over here that I've considered moving over to the left as being more important is percent short. I mean, anything, if you're really getting a push of momentum and has a low float, a lot of it short, that's going to cause what's called a short squeeze, where a lot of the people that are betting against the stock are all of a sudden have to cover their shares and have to buy it back, and it will push the price up pretty quickly. That's usually what happens during a short squeeze. And let's see what else here. We got volume and average volume and percentage of average volume. So this will show you just on average how many shares are being traded every day on this and how many shares are being traded right now. And all this, again, it's NASDAQ last, but it can be used in relative terms. So the NASDAQ last average is about 500,000 on this one, and today it's at 567% of that. So it's got a lot of extra volume happening today. So it's another bullish sign. And over here, we got some more things that I've considered using, and they're not quite as important to me as an immediate trade for a momentum trade. What the price is versus its opening price versus the low of the day versus its 10-day high versus its 1 month high versus its yearly high, basically a 52-week high, and versus its 10-day low versus its simple moving average, 10-day moving average, and 20-day moving average. And a lot of just to get some extra data in there, but not really. Personally, I don't use it for momentum trading as an immediate thing, but if I need a little extra information on it and just see a lot of green happening over here, it's an additional plus, but it's not something that's gonna win or lose the trade that I want to actually make the trade. So you'll see that if you click on the column headers, you can sort by them. Anything that's underlined, you can sort by. And up here, I'm just going to quickly go over what's highlighted up here. So every time you set something and apply it as a filter, you'll see that those are set there. Okay, so these are some of my favorite, the most up-to-date filters that I currently have on here. So I look at only stocks. I look for a price range between $1 and $15, and basically it's having any volume today. I just want to see them all and be able to sort through them. And over here, just it's winning today. You know, the price is moving up from its open or from yesterday's close. And 2-minute volume at least greater than $5,000. I just want something, because if I don't filter by that at all, you'll get a lot of those stocks that just pop on like 200 shares traded, which is not really anything substantial that you could truly trade with any money. So I at least look for some volume happening, dollar volume there. And for momentum trades, I usually look for the 1-minute change being greater than 0.3%. So it's got some movement happening, something interesting. I really like it if it's above 2%, 3%, something really big happening, a lot of volume, dollar volume being pushed into it. But then down here is where I'll look for that, where it's being highlighted in a dark green, a bright green, and where it's really moving. And finally over here, I sort by the float less than 500 million. So optimally, I kind of like them 100 million and below, but I'll consider them above that. And anything above 500 million is getting a little bit too heavy on shares. Usually causes it to kind of move sluggishly if a momentum trade is what I'm looking for. So that's in general what I use this scanner for and how I have it set up. And I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.